Hello and welcome to the Fast Track Travel Clinic with me, Simon Calder, and let's start with the bitter winter weather that disrupted flights to, from and within Europe in the second half of January. Heathrow Airport here in London was particularly hard hit. Amy Richam from Philadelphia was one of tens of thousands of passengers whose flight was cancelled at short notice, but she tells me all the resulting stress and expense could have been avoided.
The day before I was due to travel, the weather reports indicated a serious snowstorm. I phoned BA asking if I could travel a day earlier to avoid the weather problems the next day. I was told that I would have to pay several $100s to make the change, so I stayed with the original booking.
And to cut a very long story short, Amy finally arrived home over 24 hours late, having spent several $100s while waiting for a flight. I talked to British Airways on Amy's behalf, and it seems the airline wasn't giving any prizes for initiative. BA would allow free changes to people booked to travel on the day the storm hit, but only for later dates, not for earlier. The airline apologises for the problems you encountered, Amy, and will meet your out-of-pocket expenses. Gabby Riley had a less stressful experience. She was just leaving her home in London to go to Heathrow when she received an SMS message saying her flight to Geneva in Switzerland had been cancelled.
I had pre-booked car rental at Geneva and immediately called to cancel, but I was told the minimum charge was for 3 days rental. Since my booking was only for 48 hours, I lost all the money I'd paid, nearly $200. What's my options?
Gabby, had you booked the flight and car hire in a single transaction, then you get a refund in full. But the rental broker you used is taking the view that the vehicle was there and the fact that you weren't was unfortunate but not its responsibility. Check the small print of your travel insurance policy, which may possibly offer some compensation, and if that doesn't work, then talk to the airline. Although it has no legal obligation, you may be able to get something, even if it's only frequent flyer points. Susan Heffley from near Milan in Italy booked a series of flights from Stockholm out to Mumbai and back to her home city with Turkish Airlines. All the flights operated as normal, but she wasn't on board.
Because of a situation at home, I wasn't able to use them. I asked about getting a refund of the taxes, as that's something the company wouldn't have to pay. But I was told I would only get about $50 instead of the $300 I originally paid for taxes.
Susan, I'm afraid you've discovered one of the many hidden imbalances in air travel. In common with other carriers, Turkish Airlines adds a fuel surcharge, typically $240, as a carrier-imposed fee alongside genuine government taxes and airport charges. When you seek a refund, the airline keeps the fuel surcharge. Sometimes it's worth paying a higher fare that buys you the flexibility to postpone a trip rather than risk losing almost all the cash you've invested in the fare. For your itinerary, it would have cost an extra $700. Finally, Maria O'Brien is off to the USA.
We're flying to Boston for 3 days and then on to Atlanta. Do you have any ideas on what we should see and do?
Maria, you have two great and very different cities on your travel agenda. Boston makes a strong claim to be the birthplace of American independence, and the best way to learn the fascinating story of rebellion against the British is to walk the Freedom Trail, a red stripe on the sidewalk that takes you to the meeting halls and churches where a nation was born. Atlanta is a very different city. Dr. Martin Luther King's childhood home and the Ebenezer Baptist Church where he preached are now a National Historic Site and a shrine to the man who 50 years ago made the momentous "I Had a Dream" speech. Well, that's all we've got time for in this session of the Fast Track Travel Clinic. From me, Simon Calder, bye for now and see you next time.